In this video, we're going to be looking at translating a graph and changing the original equation to show the new graph with the translation. So you're always going to be given the actual original equation in this problem. So in this problem, my original problem was f of x equals the absolute value of x. So what we're going to do is in the actual answer box, I'm going to write the original problem, but I'm going to put parentheses around the x. Now, the reason for the parentheses is when we're doing translations, we have a part done to the x, which needs to be with the x, and that's why I want to put the parentheses. And then we have a part being done to the y, which needs to be outside the whole problem. So in this problem, I have two things being done. I have my graph being moved this way 3 spaces, so that's -3, and then I have it being moved up 2 spaces. So when I rewrite my problem, I have the absolute value. Now the x was -3. The x values, I'm always going to do the opposite of whatever it says. So if it was -3, I'm going to do +3. And that's going to be inside the parentheses with the x. And then the +2 is on the y, and that is on the outside. So that's +2. And that is my answer. Okay, in this problem, my original problem is negative the square root of x. Now remember, I always put parentheses around my x when I plug in the answer. Now, when we're going to look at my problem here, I'm going over by 2, so that's a +2. And I'm going down by 4, so that's a -4. So remember what I said in the last problem. We're always going to do the opposite to the x. So in this problem, I have the negative square root. Inside my parenthesis, I'm going to put -2, because I do the opposite of it. And then outside the whole problem, I put -4, because I'm going down on the y. And that is my final answer. Now this problem is a little different than the other two just because it doesn't have an absolute value or a square root. It's x squared. But we're going to do it the exact same way. So I'm going to write -1/2 parentheses x squared. Remember, I'm only putting parentheses around the exact x. Everything else is staying exactly the same. Now in this problem, I'm going to the left 2, so -2, and then I'm going up 4. So when I rewrite my answer, I get -1/2, because that's on the outside there. Parentheses, x, and remember I'm doing the opposite, so it's +2 squared, because I'm writing that. And now I write whatever was going up and down. In this case, I'm going +4, so +4 on the outside. And that's my final answer. So remember, the x is always the opposite of what it says, and it's inside the parentheses with the x. The y is always exactly what it says, and it's on the outside of the entire problem.